Standard form of a linear equation. We've done y equals mx plus b, but now we're going to look at ax plus by equals c. And this is called standard form of a linear equation. Unfortunately, the a and the b and the c don't really mean anything. They're just going to be integers. And for it to be really in standard form, the a should be positive. Unfortunately, this b is not like the b in y equals mx plus b. It is not the y-intercept. Here we have a linear equation in standard form. And if you want to graph it, the way that you can graph anything is by making a table. So I choose some x values and I put them in and I solve for y. I always like one of my x values to be 0 because that's going to give me the y-intercept. So 3 times 0 plus 4 times 2 is 8, so the y has to be 2. Now I'm going to try an x value of 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. Take that from both sides, so I have 4y equals 5. Then I have to solve for y by dividing both sides by 4. 5 divided by 4 is 1 1/4. Alright, so now we have x is 2, so 3 times 2 is 6, plus 4y equals 8. Take away the 6 from both sides, so I have 4y equals 2. Divide both sides by 4, and you'll find that y is equal to a half. Now all I have to do is plot my points. A second way to plot the points and graph a line that's in standard form is to focus on the intercepts. So I want to find the y-intercept, and that means it's going to have an x of 0. So I put in 0 for the x and then solve for what y is. We find that y is equal to 1. Now let's find the x-intercept. And an x-intercept has a y value of 0. So now we take that y value of 0, put it into the equation, and this time solve for x. So I now have the equation x minus 3 times 0 is equal to negative 3. Well, negative 3 times 0 cancels out, leaving only x equal to negative 3. Now all you have to do is plot your two intercepts and draw your line. Finally, there's a third way, but this one's actually not in standard form because the a is a fraction, and standard form shouldn't have a fraction for the values of a, b, or c. But it doesn't matter. We can solve this the same way. And what I want to do is change this to the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, and then just use that information to graph it. So to make this equation look like y equals mx plus b, I need to get the x term over to the other side. So I'm going to do the opposite and take away half x from both sides. That leaves us with 2y equaling negative half x minus 4. Now, to be y equals mx plus b, I need to get rid of that 2. And the opposite of that is to divide both sides by 2. So I got y is equal to, what's negative half divided by 2? That's negative 1/4. X minus 2, because negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Now all I need to do is use the y-intercept and the slope. So the y-intercept is negative 2, and then the slope, I got to go down 1 and over 4 to get the correct slope. So from my point, I go down 1 and over 4. I can even go up 1 and back 4 to still get that negative slope. Then I draw the line, and I'm finished.